Okay friend, let's start with today's discussion. First news of April 30, 2022 is core sector growth dips to 4.3% in March. Okay. So, 8 core sectors growth slows down to 4.3% in March from 6% in February. So, the calculation based on year growth means 6% in February means the growth of core sector at the end of February 2022 is increased by 6% with respect to growth of core sector at the end of February 2021. Okay, so year comparison. Similarly, the growth of core sector is increased by 4.3% at the end of March 2022 compared to growth of core sector at the end of March 2021. Okay, so year comparison. So in February the growth rate was 6%, but in March it reduced to 4.3%. So before moving to the news, we should know about the core sector. Then we will discuss about the news. Okay, so first know the core sector. Core sectors of Indian economy. The 8 core sectors of Indian economy are electricity, steel, refinery products, crude oil, coal, cement, natural gas and fertilizer. So these are the 8 core sector industries. Okay. These industries have a major impact on general economic activities and also industrial activities. They significantly impact most other industries as well. The core sector represents the capital base of economy. These 8 industries have a combined share of above 40% in the index of industrial production. So out of all industrial production in India, in terms of volume of production and revenue generation, core sector alone has a share of 40% in the whole market. Okay. Index of industrial production. What is index of industrial production? The IIP gives the growth rate of different industry group of the economy over a specified period. So it is it is an index through which we can measure its position in market. We can measure the position of a particular industry among the whole industry market. Okay, with this index, that is known as index of industrial production. So out of 100% of industry in India, core sector have a index of industrial production is 40%. Okay, and again out of core sector, each of these industries have their own in index of industrial production, IIP. That is also called as weight. So out of 100% in core industry, coal has a share of 10.33%. Okay, in terms of volume of production and revenue generation. Then electricity, crude oil, highest share of production is refinery product. Refinery means oil refinery. Okay, so now if we move to this website, okay, this is the Government of India, Department of Promotion and Industry and Internal Trade, Office of the Economic Advisor. The Office of the Economic Advisor has released this press document. Okay. Now look at the table, that is performance of 8 core industries, monthly index and growth rate, base year 2011-12 equal to 100, index. Okay, so any kind of measurement, any kind of growth measurement, okay, there is a base period from where the growth measurement we start calculation, the government start calculation. The base period is 2011-12, when the government assumed that the growth was 100 index. Okay, 100 index, and after that, from the 2011-12, the growth is calculated with respect to this 100 index. So this is the base year. Okay, now look at the table. This is the 8 core sector: coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery, fertilizer, steel, cement, electricity, and this is overall. Okay, so overall it is 100, and out of 100 each have their own weight. Okay, and highest weight possessed by the refinery product, that is 28 out of 100. Now if we take any example, suppose we take coal. Okay, suppose take the example of coal. So coal in March 21, at the end of March 2021, the coal production was 210.3. Okay, at the end of March 21, which was 100 at 11-12. Okay, so at the end of March 21, the production become index 210.3 index. Okay, so it's a huge growth compared to 2011-12. But we will not compare this value, March 21 value, with this 2011-12. We will compare March 21 value with March 20 value. Okay, this is year on year comparison, year on year calculation. So if we take this example, March 22, the coal production was 210 index. The coal production was 210 index. Okay, and 1 year before, in March 21, the coal production was 210.3 index. So what is the year on year growth we can calculate from 210? Previously was 210.3, so it faced the loss. Okay, the production reduced from 210.3 in March 21, it became 210 in March 22. Okay, similarly crude oil from 82.4 it becomes 79.6, also the production reduces. Then natural gas 67.5 in March 21, and it becomes 72.6 in March 22. So the production increases. Okay, next take the example of fertilizer. In March 21, the production was 93.4, and in March 22 the production became 107.7. So what is the actual growth of production year on year basis in between March 21 and March 22? So 107.7 minus 93.4 divided by 93.4 into 100, 15.3%. 15.3% is the growth of fertilizer with in 1 year at the end of March 22 with respect to March 21. Okay, simply the growth is 15.3. Okay, so the fertilizer growth is 15.3. Okay, now move to this table, year on year basis. Okay, so here is the calculation. What I have just done here in the calculator, here they give the calculation. Look at this value, 15.3. Fertilizer growth is 15.3. Okay, and here coal production is reduced by minus 0.1, then crude oil minus 3.4, natural gas is 7.6, refinery 6.2, fertilizer 15.3, steel 3.7, cement 8.8, electricity 4.9. Okay, so overall growth is 4.3 when in March 2022 with respect to March 21. Overall growth of core sector is 4.3 in March, where the overall growth after the end of February was 6%. Okay, so this is the thing they have published here in the news that core sector growth slows down to 4.3% in March from 6% in February. Okay, so as per the government website I have shown you. Next is for fiscal year 2022 as a whole, the 8 core sector grew 10.4%. In fiscal year 21 their output had shrunk by 6.4%. Okay, so at the end of fiscal year 22 the growth is 10.4%, and in fiscal year 21 the growth was 6.4%. Let us check. So here is the year on year basis calculation. So April March 2021, so this is the value of overall growth in the year 21-22, fiscal year 21-22. The overall growth is 10.4%, where the growth of 2021 year is minus 6%, contraction of growth. Okay, so it means the volume reduces. Okay, so here it is written the output had shrunk by 6.4%, means negative 6.4% due to the pandemic. Okay, now India's 8 core sector grew by 4.3% in March, down from 6% in February. Now, as per the latest data, only 3 of the 8 core sector exhibit faster rate of output growth in March as opposed to 6 in February. These 3 sectors were fertilizer, cement and electricity. So they are saying that only fertilizer, cement and electricity shown positive growth in March. Okay, let's check. They are saying that fertilizer, cement and electricity. So fertilizer, cement and electricity. So fertilizer has shown a growth of 15.3, cement 8.1 and electricity 4.9. Okay, so these 3 has shown growth. Compared to their previous year, this growth is compared to their previous year. So fertilizer has shown a growth of 15.3 in March 22, but the growth in February 22 was minus 1.4. So it is an increase in growth. Then cement in March 22 the growth was 8.8, whereas in February 22 the growth was 5 index. So again fertilizer, cement and electricity from 4.5 to 4.9. Only these 3 industries, fertilizer, cement and electricity, have shown positive growth. Otherwise all coal, it reduced to from 6.8 to minus 0.1, crude oil minus 2.3 to minus 3.4, natural gas 12.5 to 7.6. Okay, the growth is reduced. Refinery product from 8.8 to 6.2. Now fertilizer has shown positive growth. Again steel shows negative growth. Steel from 5.9 to 3.7. Cement shows positive growth. Electricity shows positive growth. Okay, now the overall growth in February was 6 and in March it became 4.3. So everything I have shown here through the Government of India website. Okay, fertilizer jumped a huge 15.3% on a year-on-year basis in March. That of cement and electricity shows 8.8 and 4.9%. Okay, so these are the things that they have said here. Okay, so this is the related thing from the first point. Core sector growth dips to 4.3% in March. So by moving into this website you will get the exact calculation. Here they have written all the thing. Coal production weight 10.33 declined by 0.1% in March 22 over March 21. Okay, everything is here written in this table. You can check it. Okay, so now move to next topic. Atishi highlights AAP's governance model at UNGA. What is the news? So this is Aam Aadmi Party. She is Aam Aadmi Party MLA Atishi Singh. Okay. So what she has done, the UN General Assembly discussed local and regional governments' priorities for the new urban agenda. The event is scheduled for April 27 and 28. So United Nations General Assembly has arranged a meeting or conference, and they invited only the local government, not the central government or the main ruling government. Okay, they only invited the local government from various countries, especially the government, those government who are ruling in any urban city, like Aam Aadmi Party is ruling in New Delhi, because the theme of the conference is new urban agenda. So United Nations General Assembly was just taking advice from the local leader also, local party leaders also. Okay, they have a platform to share their views. So the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson and MLA Atishi Singh has taken part in the conference, and she delivered a very beautiful speech on the United Nations General Assembly, and she said that AAP MLA Atishi present Delhi model at UNGA. Kejriwal hails movement of proud. So the main focus of her speech is to how to present the Delhi model. Okay. While addressing the UN General Assembly on Friday on the achievement of Delhi government, Kalkaji MLA Atishi Marlena Singh said the AAP government had delivered egalitarian development keeping in mind factors of sustainability and fiscal prudence. Highlighting the Delhi government honest and committed work over the last 7 years, Ms. Atishi said, in a city of 30 million residents, we have shown that we can do both, provide high quality public service while running a fiscally responsible government. We now have 24/7 electricity and more than 1500 residential area in Delhi got piped water. So main focus is the 1500 residential area in Delhi have got piped water, as well as Delhi has a 30 million resident. Okay, then 24/7 electricity, high quality public service. Okay, again the government school have been performed better. Their Delhi government school is a very proud thing for Delhi government. Then the private school for the last 5 years, and Mohalla clinics, that is also a proud thing for the AAP government. Mohalla clinics are providing free health care to citizens at a low cost to the government. Okay, so these are the thing. Now Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal congratulated Ms. Atishi for her UNG address, saying it was a moment of pride of the country. Now if you move to this website, you will get the exact thing. So Ms. Atishi Singh Marlene is delivering her speech in the United Nations General Assembly. Okay, please listen to her.
And I now invite Ms. Atishi Marlena, Councillor and Member of the Legislative Assembly, National Capital Territory of Delhi, India, ICLEI Vice President and Vice Chair of the United Nations Advisory Committee of Local Authorities on Environmental Action, to make a statement. Madam, you have the floor.
Excellencies of the United Nations, ladies and gentlemen, I am here today as a representative of the Government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi, India, and as Vice President of ICLEI and Vice Chair of UNACLA. All of us present here come from different cities and countries, but face common challenges. How to provide our citizens high-quality public services while ensuring equity, ecological sustainability, and fiscal prudence. From the early 90s, there has been a growing belief that the provision of education, healthcare, water, electricity to all citizens is far too expensive, and that governments which provide these services to all citizens end up spending too much and going into debt. So governments, especially in the developing world, have started withdrawing from these services. Provision of water and electricity have been privatized. People face increasing tariffs. Education and healthcare have seen substantial reduction in government spending, causing the steady deterioration of government schools and healthcare facilities. While this may have improved fiscal management, it has led to increasing inequality. However, in the last 7 years in Delhi, a city of 30 million residents, we have shown that we can do both, provide high quality public services while running a fiscally responsible government. In 2015, a new party that was formed out of a nationwide anti-corruption movement came into power in Delhi, led by Chief Minister Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. We faced many challenges. Delhi had some of the highest electricity tariffs in the country. The financial health of power distribution companies was poor, power cuts were frequent, the government water utility was facing losses, government schools and hospitals were failing, and families were shifting to private providers for the same. However, in the last 7 years, the Delhi government has turned all this around. We now have 24/7 electricity, some of the lowest electricity tariffs in the country. 4 million households get a zero electricity bill. The financial health of power distribution companies has improved. More than 1,500 residential areas in the city of Delhi have got piped water supply for the first time. The water utility is no longer in the red. Government schools have been performing better than private schools for the last 5 years. Just last year, 200,000 students shifted from private schools to government schools in Delhi. Mohalla clinics are providing free healthcare to citizens at a low cost to the government. And all this has been achieved with increasing revenues and budget sizes. The total budget of the government of Delhi has increased from 300 billion rupees in 2015 to 750 billion in 2022. The per capita income of Delhi is 3 times higher now than the rest of the country, and the state GDP has increased 150% in the last decade. Delhi is now the only state government in all of India that does not have a fiscal deficit. The Arvind Kejriwal government in Delhi has shown that a government can provide high quality public services to all its citizens and yet be fiscally responsible. And it is these very public services that in fact lead to greater economic growth. Thank you.
What a speech, beautiful speech. So it's a proud moment for Delhi as well as whole country. Okay. Next topic is sorry. Mother Nature, a living being with legal entity, Madras High Court. So Justice S. Srimathi of Madurai Bench, Madras High Court observed that the court is hereby declaring Mother Nature a living being having the status of a legal person with all corresponding rights, duties and liabilities of a living person in order to preserve and conserve it. So the judge of this Madurai bench of Madras High Court, Mr. S. Srimathi, has told that he is declaring that Mother Nature means our nature, our Mother Nature, a living being having the status of a legal person. So Mother Nature should have the status like a legal person, means she deserve all respect, all duties, all liabilities of human beings, okay, in order to preserve and conserve it. Now the court observed that Mother Nature was accorded the rights akin to fundamental rights. So Mother Nature also have fundamental right as per constitution like a legal person. Legal right, constitutional right for its survival, safety, sustenance and resurgence in order to maintain the status and also to promote its health and well-being. Okay, the states and central government are directed to protect Mother Nature and take appropriate steps in this regard all possible. So why the judge is telling these things? Okay, what is the case he is facing? The case is actually the court was hearing petition filed by A. Periya Karuppan of Theni, who served in the revenue department. So what is the case? He had challenged an order passed by the revenue department due to which the petitioner was not allowed to retire from service but put under suspension. So revenue he was an employee, currently not, but he was an employee of revenue department. Okay, but the revenue department keep him under suspension. The revenue department keep him under suspension. Why? What is his fault? The petitioner was then placed under compulsory retirement for issuing a patta for land that was classified as forest land in Meghamalai. He said that he was only carrying out order of his superior. So what is the fault of this person? The fault is while he was in service under revenue department, he issued patta. Patta means the land which has no owner, which has no private owner as well as government owner. The land which has no owner. Then what the government has done, if a farmer who have no land to farm, then the duty of the government to issue him some land so that the farmer can grow some crop and earn some revenue. But the rule is the land which is issued to the farmer, the land should have no owner. Okay, no owner. Then only the revenue department can issue the land to a homeless or homeless farmer. Okay. But what he has done, he issued a patta to a farmer for land that was classified as forest land. So the land was forest land. So he issued a forest land without the permission from forest. Okay. So great mistake he has done. He said that he was only carrying out the order of superior. The judge said indiscriminate destruction of change is leading to several complications in the ecosystem and is ultimately endangering the very existing of flora and fauna, forest, water bodies, mountain, glaciers, air, of course humans. Strangely, the destruction is carried out by few women. So this is the reason for which the judge of the High Court is saying that we should protect Mother Nature. Mother Nature is a living being having same status as a legal person. Okay. So the officer, this person simply destroyed a forest land, by issue the forest land as a patta to a homeless farmer for cultivation. Okay. This is the case. Now what revenue department did with this person? The petitioner was placed under compulsory retirement for issuing patta. The revenue department is forcing him to take compulsory retirement without any retirement benefit. Okay, this is the punishment given by the revenue department. But what is the actual law is saying? The judge is modified the punishment of compulsory retirement to stoppage of increment for 6 months. So that without cumulative effect. So the judge saying that do not force him to take retirement, just stop his increment for 6 months. Okay, monetary punishment, give him monetary punishment. The consequential monetary benefit shall be conferred on the petitioner. This punishment is imposed for the act done against the Mother Nature, the judge observed. So this is the news. Okay, next news is 3 more held in heroin seizure case. Okay, heroin is a illegal banned drug in our country. So the Narcotics Control Bureau has arrested 3 more persons, including 2 Afghan nationals, in connection with the seizure of 50 kg of heroin and 40 kg of suspended narcotic substance powder from a house in Delhi's Shinebag on Wednesday. So the 3 men, in which 2 are Afghan, was carrying 50 kg of heroin as well as 47 kg of suspected narcotic substance powder. Okay, so this is the case. So we should know about Narcotics Control Bureau. So the NCB is an Indian Central Law Enforcement and Intelligence Agency. It is a law enforcement intelligence agency, just like CBI, just like ED, under the Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. The agency is tasked with combating drug trafficking and the use of illegal substances under the provision of Narcotics, Drug and Psychotropic Substance Act. So this is an act, Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act, passed from the Parliament, and through this act, this Narcotics Control Bureau was established by the Ministry of Home Affairs. So it was established in 1986, responsible for coordination with the Indian state government and other central department, implementation of Indian international obligation with regard to drug trafficking, and assisting international and foreign drug law enforcement agency. Headquartered in Delhi, zonal offices in Mumbai, Indore, Kolkata, Delhi, Chennai, Lucknow, Jodhpur, Chandigarh, Jammu, Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, Guwahati and Patna. Okay, so just look at the map of India. This is the consumption of charos gaja, state-wise consumption of charos gaja. So this is the graph from 0 deep yellow to deep blue 7. Okay, 7. So the bluish area, deep area, Himachal 3.2%, means out of 100% consumption of charos and gaja, 3.2% population of Himachal Pradesh is consuming charas and gaja in Himachal, where in Delhi 3.8% of total population consuming charas and gaja. And look at the Sikkim is deep blue color, highest number, 7.3% of their population is consuming charas and gaja. According to official, there is unofficial figure also. Odisha also taking part in this contest. 4.5% of people in Odisha are consuming charas and gaja, whereas Maharashtra is 0.5%. Okay, so this is the things of highest consumer of charas and gaja is Sikkim, and lowest is this state, Rajasthan, Gujarat. Okay, then also Jharkhand, then the South India. Okay, Andhra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. Okay, that's why these states are developing, growing state. Okay, move to next topic. A step that would trigger language phonicide, means there is a step has taken by the government that may cause language phonicide, means language destruction or language destroy. Okay, so what is the news? The Union Home Minister Amit Shah recently urged the use of Hindi as a lingua franca rather than English in interstate communication. So Amit Shah urged all the state government, all the ministers, all the people of India, that we should use Hindi as a lingua franca. Lingua franca means communication between two state of different speaking language, or communication between union government and state government of different speaking. Okay, so while communication of two different speaking state, the common language should be used is Hindi, not means if suppose if Tamil Nadu is communicating with Maharashtra in any official case, then their language of communication should be Hindi, not Tamil or not Marathi. That should be Hindi. Amit Shah urged, not forcefully implement, he urged to follow this thing. Okay, now again he suggested at the Parliamentary Official Language Committee, there is a Parliamentary Official Language Committee, that when citizens of state who speak other languages communicate with each other, it should be in the language of India. So Amit Shah is telling that Hindi is the language of India to communicate between different speaking state, different language state. It is quite natural that a leader of a political stream that raised the slogan Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan. Now, who is the first person to raise this slogan Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan? V.D. Savarkar, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, the Hindutva icon, who first advocated the idea Hindi to be declared a national language and articulated the slogan Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan. Now imposing Hindi would be catastrophic. Instead of India would be better of having multilingualistic accommodative policy. So this is the thing Union Home Minister is saying. Whether he is right, whether he is wrong, we will look after this. Okay, means whether he is following the constitution, what constitution is telling us. If is the constitution telling us that Hindi should be the language of India, or we should use Hindi, or to state government communicate in Hindi, is the constitution is telling this? Just look at the constitution. So 8th schedule of Indian constitution is about the language of India. Okay, so from article 343 to article 351 about 8th schedule about the language of India. So first is 343, official language of the union. Official language of union, not state. Official language of union is list of language in 8th schedule. The 8th schedule to the constitution consists of the following 22 language: Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, Hindi, Kannada, Kashmiri, Konkani, Malayalam, Manipuri, Marathi, Nepali, Oriya, Punjabi, Sanskrit, Sindhi, Tamil, Telugu, Urdu, Bodo, Santhali, Maithili and Dogri. Dogri is a language of Kashmir and Bodo is a language of Assam. Okay, so official language of the union is the all of these 22 language including Hindi. So Hindi is a official language of union as well as all of 22 language. This is the first 343 saying. Now next is Commission of Committee of Parliament, the Parliament Committee of Language, official language. The function of the committee is the progressive use of Hindi language for the official purpose of the union. Oh, so the Parliament Committee of Language has the duty to expand Hindi and make it official language of union. Okay, so constitution is saying this. Constitution is take pressure on Hindi. Constitution give pressure on Hindi, that Hindi should be the official language of the union as per constitution. Now restriction on the use of the English language for all or any of the official purpose of the union. So what constitution article 343 is saying, that use Hindi. No, don't use the term use. Try to progress Hindi as a official purpose of union as well as restrict use of English language. Okay, next is what article 345 is saying, official language or language of state. Okay, now this is about official language of union, this is about official language of state. Official language or language of state subject to the provision of article 346 347, the legislature of state may by law adopt any one or more of the language in use in the state or Hindi as the language or language to be used for all or any of the following purpose of that state, provided that until the legislature of the state otherwise provided by law, the English language shall continue to be used for those official purpose within the state for which it was being used immediately before the commencement of the constitution. So what article 343 of Indian constitution is saying, that state has a state legislative assembly, and state via its state legislative assembly will decide which language will be their official language. Okay, it is up to state, they can decide which language they will adapt as their official language. Okay, means suppose Maharashtra state legislative assembly can adopt Marathi as their official language to run their state legislation. Okay, it is allowed in as per the Indian Constitution article 343. Or if any state has not make any language of their official language, they can adopt Hindi as their official language. Okay, if they have not select any other language, they can go for Hindi. Okay, so always constitution is imposing pressure on Hindi. Okay, provided that the state can use English also. If the state has their own language, it's okay, or they can use Hindi, or they can also use English as their official language. Okay, now Then Article 346 is saying official language for communication between one state and another or between state and union. This is the point Amit Shah is telling. Okay, that what should be the language between one state and with another or between the state and the union. Now what constitution is saying, official language for communication between one state and another or between a state and the union, the language for the time being authorized for use in the union for official purposes shall be the official language for communication between one state and another state and between a state and union territory. So what constitution is saying, that the two states should have authorized a language. There should be authorized language through which the two state or state and union will communicate with each other. There should be authorized language. Provided that if two or more states agree that the Hindi language should be the official language for communication between such states, the language may be used for such communication. Or if there is no authorized language between two states, then they can adopt Hindi as their communication language. Okay, again the constitution is pushing Hindi to become the official language of union as well as state, as well as communication language between state and union or between two states. Now, okay, now we should know language to be used in the Supreme Court and High Court as per Article 343. Okay, the Constitution recognizes English as the primary language of Supreme Court and High Court, with the caveat that when some other language is used in the proceeding of High Court, judgment of the High Court must be delivered in English. Okay, proceeding may continue, mean hearing of a case may continue in any language, but judgment means publishing of judgment always be in English language. Now just move to Article 351, the most important directive for development of the Hindi language. So finally Constitution is giving a order to the Union to develop Hindi language. So it shall be the duty of the Union to promote the spread of Hindi language, to develop it so that it may serve as a medium of expression for all the elements of the composite culture of India, and to secure its enrichment by assimilating without interfering with its genius, the form, style, expression used in Hindustani and in the other language of India specified in the 8th schedule. So finally the Constitution directly saying that the Union should promote Hindi where in non-Hindi speaking state, but without interfering the non-Hindi language or without interfering their culture, okay, or without interfering their composite cultures. Okay, so impose Hindi in non-Hindi, spread Hindi in non-Hindi state also. So Constitution is telling this and Union government is following the Constitution. So Union government has done nothing wrong. Now if you move to this website, what actually the Ministry of Home Affairs is saying, that Union Home and Cooperation Minister Sri Amit Shah presided over 37th meeting of Parliamentary Official Language Committee in New Delhi. So what is the result of the meeting? That to give elementary knowledge of Hindi to students up to 9th class and to pay more attention to Hindi teaching examination. So up to 9th class there should be a Hindi subject, and Hindi teaching examination also should be there in every non-Hindi speaking state. Also Hindi should be a subject. And Union Home Minister suggested to republish the Hindi dictionary by revising it. So republish the Hindi dictionary. Now Prime Minister Modi has decided that the medium of running the government is the official language, due to which the importance of Hindi will definitely grow. So Hindi, Prime Minister also saying that Hindi should be the official language of Union. Hindi should be accepted as an alternative to English and not to local language. Oh, this is important. So Hindi is an alternative to English, not local language. So means if two different speaking people are talking to each other in English, the Union government is saying that talk in Hindi. But if they are talking in their local language, then it is okay. You can talk in your local language. That is absolutely okay. But if your local language are different and you can't understand each other's local language, then please talk each other in Hindi, not in English. Okay. Now time has come to make the official language an important part of unity. Okay. Now unless we make Hindi flexible by accepting words from other local language, it will not be promoted. 70% of the agenda of cabinet is prepared in Hindi. 22,000 Hindi teachers have been recruited in 8 states of the northeast. Okay, so this is the thing the Amit Shah is urging to the government. Okay. So this is the thing. So government is doing nothing wrong. This is written in Constitution of India. Move to next topic. Sikh community a strong link between India and other nations, says Prime Minister. What is this? Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday said the Sikh community embodied the ideals of Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat, One India Great India, and had been a strong link in relation between India and other country. Okay. Addressing a Sikh delegation at his official residence in New Delhi in presence of Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri. Hardeep Singh Puri is also a Sikh. Mr. Modi said the entire country felt grateful to Sikhs for their contribution in the freedom struggle as well as in the post-independence era. The delegation composed Sikhs from different walks of life, lauding the Indian diaspora across the globe. Mr. Modi said he had always considered them as the country ambassador. Okay, so as many number of Sikhs are residing outside India, so our Prime Minister is comparing them with an ambassador. So they are working like an ambassador and they are an important part of Indian diaspora. What is Indian diaspora? Now we move to Indian diaspora. Indian diaspora is the total number of Indian reside in other country. Total number of Indian reside in other country. That is total is called as Indian diaspora. So Indian diaspora mainly consists of two kind of people. One is non-resident India and one is overseas citizen of India. NRI and OCI. What are NRI? Who are the NRI? NRIs are Indian citizen. NRIs are Indian citizen who are not resident of India, and OCI, who are the OCI? OCI are people of Indian birth or ancestry who lived outside the Republic of India. So the main difference is NRIs are citizen, Indian citizen, but OCIs are not Indian citizen. They are citizen of other country where they are residing now. So they have already taken citizenship of other country. They become OCI. So as the NRI is a Indian citizen, so they have the same right like any other Indian citizen who is resided inside this Indian boundary. Okay, right means any kind of government scheme they can avail, they can go for in government job, they can eligible to cast vote, every kind of thing they have the rights equally like any other common Indian citizen. Okay, but OCI, as OCI are not Indian citizen, they are already citizen of any other country, so OCI did not have the right to cast vote. Okay, and did not have right to avail all of the government schemes. They also can avail some facilities of from government, but not like NRIs or the Indian citizens. Okay. According to Ministry of External Affairs, there are 32 million NRIs and OCIs residing outside of India and overseas, comprise the world's largest overseas diaspora. So which country has the largest diaspora overseas? India. Every year 2.5 million Indians migrate overseas, which is the highest annual number of migrate in the world. Now what is NRI, what is OCI? Just look at this paragraph. The rate of income tax are different for person who are resident of India and NRI. So both are citizen of India, resident of India, non-resident of India, both are Indian citizen. Both have to file income tax, but there is a difference between income tax filed by the resident of India and filed by the NRI. Okay, there is a difference. Now first come to the topic, which Indian resident will be called as NRI, who are eligible to become a resident of India and who are not eligible to become a resident of India and become an NRI. The eligibility is, you have to stay in India, of at least 120 days in a financial year. So first criteria is you have to stay in India for at least 182 financial year. Financial year means from April 1st to from this year to March 31st of next year. So within this financial year, at least 182 days you have to stay in India and you become an Indian citizen. Okay, next is become a resident in India, not Indian citizen. They are Indian citizen, also they are Indian citizen, but they become resident of India. Okay, resident of India, this is the term. Another criteria is 365 days spread out over 4 consecutive years. So in 4 consecutive years you have to stay overall totally 365 days, not continue 365 days. Totally you have to stay 365 days in consecutive 4 years. Then you also become a resident in India. Or 365 days spread over 4 consecutive years and at least 60 days in that year. Okay, so 365 days totally in 4 consecutive years and 60 days in a year, means total 365 days in 4 years, but at least 60 days in a year, means you cannot live in that first year I am staying for 2 days and next year I am staying for 10 days and the last year I am staying I will stay for 400 days. You cannot do that. Okay, you have to maintain at least 60 days you have to stay in India, and overall 365 days you have to maintain this criteria, then you become a resident of India. Otherwise you will be treated as NRI, non-resident of India, and the income tax slab will change for you. Okay, now what about overseas citizenship of India? After multiple effort by leaders across the Indian political spectrum, a pseudo citizenship scheme was established. Pseudo citizenship scheme means they are not citizen, there is a pseudo citizenship, commonly referred as OCI card. Okay, they will be given a OCI card by the government of India to come back to India. So this is another difference between NRI and OCI. NRI living outside India and to live in a foreign country, the NRI needs visas and passport, but to come back to India from the foreign country, they did not need to have visas and passport criteria because they are already citizen of India. But exactly opposite case for OCI to stay in other country, they did not record any passport visa because they are already citizen of that country. But if they want to come back to India, they have to face criteria like passport, visas. Okay, now to help them, Government of India issue OCI card. Okay, so by showing OCI card, you can come back to India and stay for a long time as per the card criteria. The Constitution of India does not permit full dual citizenship, so you cannot be a full citizenship of India. You cannot be a dual citizenship of India as well as other country. The OCI card is effectively a long-term visa with restriction on voting rights. So you can stay here in long-term visa, but you cannot vote, or and government job, you cannot go for government job also. The card is available to a certain overseas India, not all, certain overseas India, and while it affords holders residency and other rights. Okay, the card holds also some rights, but you cannot vote, you cannot go for government job. Okay, it does have restriction, is not considered to be any type of Indian citizenship from a constitutional perspective. So this is the thing. Now if you move to this website, I just show you here. This is foreigners division, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. Here you will go through and you come to know how a person become citizenship of India. Okay, how a person become a citizen of India. Okay, so these are the criteria here, like after in that after if a person born on or after 26 January 1950 but before July 1987, he become an Indian citizenship irrespective of the nationality of his parent. So if the child born between 1950 and 1987, he become a citizenship of India irrespective whatever their parent, whatever their parent citizenship, doesn't matter, he become an Indian citizen. And what about before 1950? Before 1950 means before formation of the constitution, whoever reside in India for the last 5 years became an Indian citizenship. Okay, so this criteria, this whole criteria is for the person who is born after the formation of constitution. Okay, so 1950 to 1987 you already automatically become a citizenship or Indian citizen. So then you become also Indian citizenship if you born between 1987 to 2004, but the criteria is is considered citizen in India by birth if either of his parent is a citizen of India at the time of his birth. So at the time of your birth between 1987 to 2004, if your parents are citizen of India, then you automatically become a citizen of India. Then a person born after 2004, what happened to him? He also be considered as a citizen of India by birth if both parents are citizens of India at the time of his birth, or one of the parents is a citizen of India and other is not an illegal migrant at the time of his birth. So if you born after 2004, you also become a citizen of India, but the criteria is both of your parents should be the citizen of India at the time of your birth, or one of your parent is the citizen of India and other parent is not migrated to India. This is the criteria. Okay, there are many other criteria. You will go through this. Okay, now move to next topic. Curfew in Patiala after clash over anti-Khalistan march, one arrested. What is the news? The curfew. Okay, after violence erupted between two groups and they are attacking the police also. Curfew was imposed in Patiala district of Punjab on Friday after a clash broke out between two groups over staging a march in Patiala city against pro-Khalistani movement. Okay, so this is regarding the pro-Khalistani movement. The two groups clashed with each other. But my focus is what is curfew? What is the difference between lockdown, section 144 and curfew? Okay, so I am giving you some little brief that lockdown is related to pandemic. Okay, it may be issued by district magistrate or chief medical officer. In lockdown, you unnecessarily you cannot move out from your home. Okay, there should not be an assembly of more than 5 persons, and most importantly all the necessary things. Okay, all the essential service like hospital, vegetables, market, food, milk, water, all the essential service will be available in lockdown. This is lockdown. Okay, also lockdown has a jurisdiction of a large area and for long duration. This is lockdown. And exactly opposite is curfew. Curfew is also you cannot go out unnecessarily from your home. There should not be any assembly of more than 5 persons. Okay, it is also imposed by the district magistrate. Lockdown is curfew is district magistrate, but the lockdown is generally for pandemic situation, but the curfew is imposed due to violence. That's why curfew is imposed only by district magistrate or police commissioner, but lockdown is imposed by district magistrate or chief medical officer also. Now lockdown has a big jurisdiction area and imposed for long time, but curfew has small territorial area and imposed for small time. Why? Because in the time of curfew no essential service will be available. No essential service will be available like hospital, like food, like market. You cannot move outside your home. Okay. Another difference is in lockdown, police easily cannot arrest you. They will advise you and they will send you to your home. But in curfew, if you move out from your home, police without any explanation arrest you. That is the rule of curfew. Okay. Lockdown can be enforced by collector, chief medical officer in particular area under epidemic disease. Okay, then the power restrict assembly of 5 or more people. Duration lockdown is long, territorial area is large. Essential service, hospital, bank, these are available. Okay, in some cities hotel also be allowed to operate. Under lockdown, the police do not have the power to arrest anyone who is violating the lockdown without court's permission. They can issue warning. No. But if you continuously break the lockdown rule and moving outside, then police can arrest you under section 260 and 270 Indian Penal Code. If somewhere were to express from quarantine, the authorities can book him under section 271 IPC. This is lockdown. And this is section, what is section 144? Section 144 is just look like lockdown. Everything is okay. There is a imposed by the collector, district magistrate or police commissioner. Okay, no, there is no enforced by district police commissioner. Congregation of 5 more people is not allowed. Okay, but the difference of lockdown and this is the police is not easily arrest you in lockdown, but the police will simply arrest you in section 144. Okay, this is the difference. And also the like the lockdown, essential service is remain on in section 144. So everything is okay in lockdown 144, but the simple difference is section 144, if you move outside your home, the police will arrest you without any explanation. The police will arrest you. Okay, unnecessarily if you moving outside your home, the police will arrest you. But in lockdown, police will not arrest you. Police will send you back home. This is section 144 and lockdown. Okay. And if you, and what is curfew, I have already told you. Above 144 all essential service also shut down, like hospital, bank, ATM, grocery will shut down. Only administrative police person allowed on the street. So if you move out unnecessary from your home, you will 100% you will get arrested in curfew. And as the essential service remains shut off, that's why curfew will remain for small time in very small area. Okay, this is the curfew. Next topic is Chief Justice of High Courts urged to send names to fill vacancies. What is this news? So Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana urged the Chief Justice of High Court to extend their wholehearted cooperation and speed up the process of recommending names to fill up judicial vacancies in the High Court. Oh, there is a judicial vacancies in High Court, means the High Court has a vacancies of judge. High Court has a vacancy of judge. So what Chief Justice of India requested the High Court judges to send recommended name to fill up the vacancy. So the recruitment of judges in vacant post will be done by recommendation of the existing judges of existing Chief Justice of High Court. So Chief Justice of High Court recommended some name to Chief Justice of India for the vacancy of judges in High Court. This is the process of judge appointment. Okay, and there is also a committee who totally control the appointment, transfer, recruitment of judge. Okay, so any kind of recommendation from the chief justice of High Court will go to that committee, and the final decision, the committee will take the final decision. Okay, so what is that committee who will take the final decision? That is known as collegium. That is known as the collegium. The collegium is that committee who has the ultimate power to recruit, appoint or transfer judges anywhere in the country, in any high court. Okay, in any high court, in any district, any state high court, they can transfer, they can appoint, they can recruit judges. So that is the collegium. The CJI said that there is so High Court Collegium act quickly to recommended names, following which 126 judicial vacancies in High Court could be filled up within just a year. Okay, now we should know what is actually the collegium. What is collegium system? It is the system of appointment and transfer judges that has evolved through a judgment of the Supreme Court and not by act of Parliament or by provision of Constitution. So collegium is a power of Supreme Court, by which the Supreme Court can appoint judges, and the appointment of judge is not controlled by Parliament or not controlled by any article in Constitution. It is entirely controlled by Supreme Court itself. So Supreme Court itself will recommend judges for the Supreme Court. This is the collegium system. Okay, there is a debate for this system, how a organization recruit judges without any examination, without any procedure, how only through recommendation they appoint judges. Okay, now who heads the collegium system? The Supreme Court Collegium is headed by Chief Justice of India and comprises 4 other senior most judges. Okay, the Supreme Court Collegium is headed by Chief Justice of India and comprises 4 other senior most judges. And there is also a High Court Collegium system that is led by Chief Justice of High Court and comprises 4 other senior most judges. Okay, so Chief Justice of India is saying that last year High Court's Collegium, he is talking about High Court's Collegium. So the High Court Collegium will recommend name of for the 126 judicial vacancy to the Chief Justice of India, and then the Chief Justice of India will through the Supreme Court Collegium recruit those judges. Okay, so this is the collegium system. Now who are the member of collegium? Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana, then U.U. Lalit, Uday Umesh Lalit, Ajay Manik Rao Khanwilkar, Dhananjay Yashban Chandrachud and L. Nageshwar Rao. Chief Justice of India along with 4 senior most judges. There may be more senior judges in this collegium system, but these 5 are the most important part of the collegium system, and they have the ultimate power to recruit, appoint and transfer judges, okay, as per recommended name from the Chief Justice of High Court. Okay, now what is the eligibility to be a judge in the Supreme Court? Not exceeding 65 years as per Article 124. Also, a judge of one High Court or more for at least 5 years, or an advocate there for at least 10 years, or a distinguished jurist. He may be a jury also. He may be a part of jury also, member of jury. In the opinion of the President, power conferred by Clause 2 of Article 124 Constitution of India, is eligible to be recommended for appointment a judge for Supreme Court. And how a judge of Supreme Court can be removed or impeached? Article 124 is saying that President can remove a judge. President can remove a judge. How? Why? On proved misbehavior or incapacity when Parliament approves with a majority of total membership of each house in favor of impeachment and not less than 2/3 of the member of each house present for initiating impeachment proceeding against a judge. At least 50 members of Rajya Sabha and 100 members of Lok Sabha shall issue a notice per Judge Inquiry Act 1968. So the procedure simply is any house, maybe Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Suppose in Lok Sabha any member of Parliament propose the impeachment of the judges of any judge or maybe Chief Justice of India, impeachment against the Chief Justice of India, propose in house. Okay. Now the speaker, the first duty speaker to ask the member of that Lok Sabha whether they agree with the impeachment procedure or not. Then at least 100 member of Lok Sabha, and if the bill placed in Rajya Sabha, then 50 member of Rajya Sabha should stand and say that yes, we want impeachment procedure. Okay, so 100 members first stand and told speaker that we want the impeachment procedure. Then speaker arrange a vote if 2/3 member of each house, means 2/3 member first this is in Lok Sabha, so 2/3 member in Lok Sabha vote in favor of impeachment, then the impeachment will be passed from Lok Sabha and then it will move to Rajya Sabha. Again the voting procedure will started in the under the supervising of Vice President. Okay, again 2/3 member have to vote in favor of impeachment, and after getting 2/3 majority from both house, finally the impeachment bill proceed to President, and finally President will give his assent to remove a judge, and the reason is misbehavior or incapacity. This is the way you can remove a judge. Okay, next topic is Center pushes for Corbevax recognition in other countries. Okay, the government plans to expedite the process of recognition of COVID-19 vaccine Corbevax by other countries while its manufacturer Biological E pursues WHO's emergency use listing for the jab being administered in India among the 12 to 14 years age group. So what is this? What the government is saying, that the Biological E, the manufacturer named Biological E is developing this Corbevax vaccine in India. Okay, Biological E is developing Corbevax vaccine in India, and what government of Israel is trying that other country also should approve the Corbevax vaccine for the age 12 to 14 years. Okay, so that government can sell vaccine to other countries also. And what the manufacturer Biological E is doing? Biological E pursues WHO. Pursues means chasing or requesting WHO, so that WHO give the approval for emergency use of Corbevax. Okay, this is the topic. Now related to this topic, another news is more COVID jabs for children get not. Get not means get approval from the Union government. Amid an uptick of fresh COVID-19 cases in the century, COVID-19 cases is rising day by day. Again the fourth wave is coming. The Drug Controller General of India DGCI on Tuesday approved the emergency use authorization for 2 anti-coronavirus vaccine in children between 5 to 12. So DGCI, who approved the vaccine in India? DGCI, Drug Controller General of India, approved 2 vaccine may be used in emergency of children aged between 5 to 12. What are the 2s? Biological is Corbevax and Bharat Biotech Covaxin. Okay. Now Corbevax, we should know something about Corbevax. It is a protein subunit COVID-19 vaccine. Who developed is actually developed by Texas Children's Hospital Center for Vaccine Development plus Baylor's and College of Medicine in Houston, Texas, and Dynavax Technologies based in Emeryville, California. These three institutes manufacture Corbevax in United States and manufacture under license by Indian biopharmaceutical firm Biological E for development and production. Okay, under license Biological E is producing Corbevax. Similar like Oxford AstraZeneca, the Covishield product produced actually by Oxford University and AstraZeneca company in England, but manufactured under license by the Indian biopharmaceutical firm Serum Institute Technology, the biggest medicine manufacturer in the world, Serum Institute Technology from Pune. Now we should know about DGCI, head of Department of Central Drug Standard Control Organization, government entity responsible for approval license. So their function is approval, give license to the drug manufacturer company. Okay, of specified categories of drug, for specific categories of drugs such as blood products, for fluids, vaccine, sera, etc. Drug Control General of India comes under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, DGCA also sets standard for manufacturing, sale, import, distribution of drugs in India. Okay, next topic is dates turn expensive in Kashmir. What is the news? Dates, the sweet dry food, a Ramjan essential for Muslim to break their fast, have seen an unprecedented rise in its price this year. So the price of date, these are the date price of the sweet dry fruit. Okay, so price of date increasing heavily just before the Ramjan. Okay, now, so as per a businessman in Srinagar based, he is telling that it increased by 50 to 100% for 5 to 10 kg of boxes. Okay, and he is also a dry food dealer and a cross line control trader. This person is a dry food dealer as a cross line of control trader. So date, he is trading date across line of control. Okay, now the date are mainly imported from Middle Eastern countries and Afghanistan. This is the thing. So dates are coming from Middle Eastern countries and Afghanistan and enters India through the line of control. Enters India through the line of control, and this person is trading with the dates. Okay, but why suddenly the price of date become 100% increased? Because currently the trade across the line of control blame the new defunct trading routes with Pakistan occupied Kashmir for the uncontrolled price hike. So the route through which the dates enters into India become defunct. Means the government of India simply close the trade route between India or between the Jammu Kashmir with the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Simply close the trade route, the government of India. Okay, now why then the price hiked? Because the distance between we have to read the line, we have to ferry the stocks from Mumbai port to Srinagar. This is the reason. Previously, direct from Afghanistan through POK, through line of control, it enters the Indian territory of Jammu Kashmir, in the Jammu Kashmir territory. But right now, government of India closed the route. Now it coming via Mumbai port. So distance between Mumbai port and Srinagar is 200 km, while distance between the LOC and the Kashmir is about 100 km. So previously the freight charge will be levied for 100 km, now it is levied for 2000 km. This is the reason for which the price of date became double. Okay. Now, why the government closed the route? Because it was suspended by Military Home Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs on April 2019, citing it as a reason of illegal funding to military outfit. So they closed the route in April 2019. April 2019, I think that the date, the time when the Article 370 was dissolved from Kashmir. At that time, the road was also closed. Okay, next topic is government approves Pawan Hans sale at 414 crore valuation. So government want to sell Pawan Hans helicopters. So this is the Pawan Hans helicopter, a proud thing for India. The government on Friday approved the sale of its stake in Pawan Hans Limited, along with transfer of management control to an entity called Star 9 Mobility Private Limited at a price of 211.14 crore, pegging the firm's total value of 414 crore. A joint venture between Central and ONGC, which own 49%, Pawan offers helicopter and aero mobility service. Okay, so what is the news is the Pawan Hans is owned by Central and ONGC. The share of Central is 51% and share of ONGC is 49%. Now Central is selling their stake. At which amount? At 211.14 crore. This is the value of the 51% stake. Okay. Also, ONGC also selling their stake of 49% and the cost of the stake is 202.86. So overall cost of the sale is 414 crore. And who owns the Pawan Hans? Star 9 Mobility Private Limited. They will pay 414 crore to government and ONGC. Okay. So what Pawan Hans gives service? Helicopter service, aero mobility service. Okay. Why government is selling this? It incurred losses for 3 successive years from 1819 to 2021. Now, this is the thing. Okay, so we should know about Pawan Hans. It is a government owned helicopter. Currently, still it is government owned helicopter because government has a stake of 51% based at Noida, Delhi NCR, National Capital Region of Delhi. Now, under ownership Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India. Okay, mainly used by the ONGC, Oil and Gas Corporation, to its offshore location. This government helicopter service provider is often engaged in providing service to various state government, particularly North-East, Inter-Island Ferry Service, Andaman Nicobar Island. For the last 26 years, service to Lakshadweep administration, to ferrying people from island to Kochi International Airport. Okay. Also, it gives service to Vaishno Devi helicopter service to devotees. It is also used by BSF and Maharashtra Police for medical and logistics support in event of massist attacks on troops. This is the things related to this news. Okay, next news from sport. Sindhu advanced to medal round. Sindhu is our pride girl. Double Olympic medalist. Double Olympic means silver medalist in 2016 Rio Olympic and bronze medalist in 2020 Tokyo Olympic. PV Sindhu egged out thrilling 21-9 to 30-21, 21-19 win over China's He Bingjiu to make the women's singles semi-final of the Badminton Asia Championship. So Badminton Asia Championship is going on and the host city is Muntinlupa, Philippines, and PV Sindhu enters in the singles semi-final. So all the best to you. So this is the today's news. If you have any opinion, please text me or call me in this number anytime. Okay friend, this is for today's topic. If you have any doubt, please call me in this number and please subscribe my channel. If you like my channel, please subscribe, share my channel. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you very much.